So awesome job on this. So I do have some notes with the facial animation, and mainly it's timing, or mainly timing stuff with the body as well. Overall, though, you've really addressed sort of like that getting into shapes and overlapping and following arcs and all that kind of stuff. So you've really done a nice job with that stuff. Now it would be, there's certain moments where you can just tighten that up because it's a little too loose. It's a little too overlappy in certain spots. And also you can just tighten the timing up, which will keep it snappy as well. So first of all, mainly as a facial animation note, it's still just a little unclear what he's feeling. And if anything, he looks more sad in this. Well, not sad, but disappointed or unsure rather than grossed out by what he's holding. And I can go over that a bit in certain spots just to sort of help you through that. So let me do that. Okay. So overall, just so I'm clear, and I think we discussed it, what exactly is, in your mind, what is in the box that he wants to get away from?
Well, I haven't actually thought of this. I knew that he was meant to be disgusted by it. I haven't actually thought about what he's disgusted about.
So is he scared then? Is he scared of it, or is he disgusted by it, or?
He is disgusted by it. Let's just say it's something very jam kind of, disgusting sort of.
Like mold or something, like really?
Yeah, something that doesn't smell very nice as well.
Okay. So I think this kind of expression, I don't know if you can see, I'll try and zoom in. So this kind of expression is really getting there. Like it really feels like, oh, that's so gross. But the problem is that he comes right out of it before you can even read what he's doing.
Okay.
So I feel like you'd hit that pose and sort of hold there for a beat. And when I'm saying a beat, you guys know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just hold like a beat is sort of like a brief amount of time, just to give it time to read what's going on. Yeah. Is his expression is he gets into this mouth shape, which I think works for some of it, but it stays in that mouth shape for a long time. He kind of has this mouth shape. I think it's just, he's in this kind of mouth shape for the whole thing. I feel like you'd want to find some shape. So if he's going into this kind of like, ugh, and then like, if you can get a cheek puff or something like getting him into this kind of like grossed out, kind of like, please take it kind of expression. Right now, he looks always kind of this sad expression.
Mm-hmm.
Which works for this frame here because he's kind of like, oh, gross. But then when he gets into this expression, he just looks kind of like, oh, can you please take this? He looks too relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
He looks too calm. So I feel like if you can do anything, be like, take it, like just really grossed out. I'm trying to think of, yeah, really kind of maybe, let's see. You sort of see what I'm going for?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again, and I apologize if I wasn't totally clear. I still think really you can go way faster here. Right now I was counting these, the foot plants right now, like the foot movements, it's 3 up and 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. I really feel like you can rotate or alternate between like even like 1 frame up, 1 frame down, 2 frames up, like just 2 frames up, 1 frame down, just really get that fast. But also I think what's also making it feel slow is that there's no movement in the in the toes and the heels. Right now, it's just you found a foot shape, and that's just going up and down. Whereas if you could kind of feel like there's a bit of movement in the heels, and then up on the toe, and then a little bit of squash, and just, rather than having two keys and just keep working between those two keys, you can alternate it. So he might go further on one key, not as far on the next time, all that kind of stuff. So just alternate it a bit so it has some randomness to it. And one thing that'll also help this a lot is, see right now, I love what you're doing with the hips.
Mm-hmm.
I love that the hips are rotating. You can also get a bit, like just a bit of movement on the height of the hips as well. So as the feet are coming up, his hips are actually bobbing up and down as well.
Would you do that just for the hips or with the body as well?
I would totally do it with the body as well, but it's almost like by the time it gets to the head, there's a tiny bit on it, but most of it is in the hips. So naturally the hips would lead the rest, but then it slowly tapers off as it gets to the head. Yeah, and the whole point of that is just to really feel like this tension, like that movement will keep it feeling very impatient. So this facial expression, actually, I like. I would still, rather than actually, maybe have like a tiny bit. I think I wouldn't necessarily have the eyebrows up that high. I might bring them down a little bit, just so something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help? Does that feel a little bit more like, I don't want this?
Yeah.
The sadness works, and that's sort of where I was going with that, but it needs to feel tense. It still needs to feel very impatient and sad, almost like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum. Like, that word, like how kids get, just like, no, I don't want to, God. He's still sad, but it's tense and impatient. I feel pose-wise, this pose is great. I feel like, did you stretch the IK chest up at all? You pull it forward?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay. I think it's close. I think you might be able to bring, like, this part of his body back just a bit. Just he feels a little stretched in his last pose. Maybe you can bring his head back a little bit then. See if that works first.
Yeah. Okay.
And one thing I wanted I was thinking about this when I first saw it. His hand or his arms feel really stretchy right there. Like they just grow for no reason there.
Yeah, I need to move the shoulders as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
So rather than, if that's an arc thing, like if you're just trying to worry about nice smooth arcs, it's just this part right here. It's like they just start stretching out for no reason.